We've got Robert Jones and Courtney Swartz. We've got Amanda and Alan. Here's Amanda Boyer and Alan Freshour. And good morning. And Jeff, I'm going to advise all of you as your rights in a landlord-tenant proceeding. As a defendant in a landlord-tenant proceeding, these are both non-payment of rent cases. You have the following legal rights. You have the right to obtain counsel for representation in this matter. If you cannot afford an attorney, a legal aid attorney may be available to help you. And attorney Meg Bauer is here from legal aid on the feed here this morning. You have a right to a trial by a jury or by the court. If you do wish to have a jury trial, you have to tell the court, me, at this first appearance, or file a written demand within 5 days and be prepared to pay the jury demand fee unless the judge waives the fee. Mr. Ware, would you just sit still? You're seem to be working on another project, or just sit quiet and listen to what I'm saying here.
I'm listening.
All right. You have a right to demand a jury trial. You have to pay a $50 fee unless the judge waives it. You have a right to have the case heard here in St. Joseph County where the property is located. You do have the right to ask for potential financial assistance. You may be able to get assistance from the Michigan Department of Health and Human Services, Housing Assessment and Resource Agency, help for homeless veterans, if you're a veteran and eligible for those services. You do not need a judgment against you to get that help from the places listed above. The problem is most of these places don't have enough resources to go around. Copy of the summons and complaint from your case is sufficient. You may be able to reach an agreement with the landlord by going through mediation. If both parties are interested in that process, the court can help set it up. You may be able to reach an agreement with the landlord that means the case would get dismissed. We did several of these this morning with the filing of what's called a conditional order of dismissal. We would assist you in that, or generally the attorney would prepare it. Mr. Burns is here on behalf of Riverside Estates, and that's a little mobile home park tucked away between 131 and Lutz Road. Courtney Swartz and Robert Jones are here. Can you hear me?
Yes.
All right, Mr. Burns, could you unmute your mic?
Yes, Your Honor.
I have some disclosures to make in this case. I know Courtney Swartz. I've known her since she was a baby, essentially. And she called me several months ago and said that she was struggling and there were issues with her tenancy. And so I referred her to an agency that I think did give her some funding. Then she called and said this was coming. And I said, well, Courtney, I can't talk to you about a case that's going to be pending in my court. And she said, okay. And I said, well, I'll see you when it gets here. Mr. Burns, in light of those discussions, do you have any concerns about me handling this case?
Not if Your Honor believes he can be impartial and carry out the job of a judge in the normal course of business, given his relationship. And I understand the concern, but if the court believes it can do its job in the normal course of business, given the relationship, I think we wouldn't have any objection, and I'd leave it to the court to make the decision.
All right, thank you. I do not feel the need to recuse myself, but if either party wants me to, I would. Ms. Swartz, do you have any problem with me handling this matter?
No, Your Honor.
All right. There's a number of these, and in each case, it looks like the rent is gotten pretty significant. It also appears to me, Mr. Brown, this is a circumstance of lot and trailer. They're renting both the lot and the trailer.
That is my understanding. Yes, Your Honor. It's home and lot rent. Yes.
All right. What is the current arrearage in the Swartz and Jones case?
Your Honor, there's a rent to retain of $7,921.61, costs in the total of $223.75 for a total due and owing of $8,145.36. And just for the court's records, all of these were filed as possession only. None of them have money judgments attached.
All right. Mr. Jones and Ms. Swartz, you owe a lot of rent and you have to pay that or be prepared to move.
Yeah.
And what's your position?
Well, when we first moved in here, we did get some help. And it all got messed up from the very beginning. We still owed $3,500 when we first moved in. And if we would have known that, we would have started paying sooner than we were supposed to, I guess, because they paid like the first 3 months rent. But after that, we were still behind $3,500. And we just been trying to pay as much as we can. I was not working at the time. It was just Rob. I am working now. And I just gave them $6,000 at tax time. And it went $800 for a pet fee that we had already paid. And I've been trying to talk to Jason about it, and I talked to Brian, and I don't know. We're just trying to catch up to finally be able to stay ahead.
Well, you've got a substantial arrearage and you're going to be more behind in July. But the law requires that I adjourn this matter for 7 days. So that takes us to June 27th. And too much stuff in there too. I'd like to continue this to June 27th at 10:30.
Okay.
All right.
And I am still trying to get help from that, from one of the places that I reached out to also.
Now, let me tell you something else. I did the one agency and I thought they had actually given you some funding, but
No,
you owe
we had
you owe a lot of back rent. And let's say that one of the agencies gives you $5,000. You would still owe the remainder, which would be over $3,000. And the only thing that cures this is paying the entire amount of the rent. Partial payment will not prevent the writ of eviction. My suggestion is that you should start to look for someplace else to move to. You're so far behind on the rent, I don't see you having the ability to catch this up. But we'll address this. Now, if they get what they ask for, you get 10 days from June 27th to move or be subject to being evicted. And that would be July 7th. Meaning if you don't pay this rent by July 7th, the sheriff could come put you out on the street on July 8th.
Okay.
But we're gonna address this further. Now, Meg Bauer is here from Legal Aid. I don't know if there's a legal defense or it's just a matter of being way behind in the rent.
I'm happy to consult with them, Judge.
All right.
And your Honor, I'd asked the defendants reach out to me and see if we can coordinate something with my client in terms of seeing if there's other options available. And I'm always available too if they need to talk.
All right. His name isn't on the pleadings. His name is Michael Burns, but his number is on the Levine Swiss Stack law firm, 248-851-8000. They can do some sort of agreement, perhaps, of a conditional dismissal or some sort of agreement as to how to get caught up on the rent.
Okay.
His name is Michael Burns.
I mean, I've been working for Juergens. I just got my, I just did my yearly review. I just got another raise. I've been paying on the van. I just been trying to make it and I just got behind.
Yes, I understand. It happens, but you're way behind. So, all right, now they're willing to talk to you. So I suggest that you do that. It's on the pleadings. I've got the number. I'll read it to you again. Okay. 248-851-8000. And the attorney's name is Michael Burns.
Okay. Thank you so much.
All right. I don't know, Meg, that they need a legal consult. Maybe they can just, do you wish to talk to Legal Aid or simply see if you can work something out with your landlord?
See if we can work something out first.
All right. Very good. Next week.
The
problem is I don't want to put it right now because the same tenant has the same issue. The next tenant has the same issue. So, all right. So again, she's here to consult with if you wish to, but I'm not going to force you to. You can simply talk to your landlord. She'll also be here next Monday if we need assistance at that point.
Okay.
All right. All right. I'll release you.
Thank you.
All right,
The
all right,
office.
well, let's address it. Let's call the case formally. The title of the case is Quail Run Apartments LLC versus Cody Duckworth and Araya Alexander. They're both here by Zoom. The esteemed Mr. John Bradshaw is here live in person. The manager, Paul Davidson of Quail Run, is here, and Meg Bauer is here from Legal Aid. We were here last week on June 13th. And we determined at that time the rent in arrears was $3,000. They'd been working with their case manager at Keystone. I don't think Miss Bauer was here last week, but they did contact Legal Aid.
I was,
Mr.
Judge.
Were you?
Yep.
I didn't give you credit.
That's okay. I was in consult during a large part of their hearing.
Oh, maybe that's it. All right. At any rate, Mr. Bradshaw's provided me a consent order for conditional dismissal. Defendant agrees to vacate the unit by July 20th. That's 30 days from now. Plaintiff agrees to waive any amounts of rent which may be due pursuant to this tenancy, either due now or as of July 20th. The security deposit shall be handled as provided by statute, meaning you need to give your forwarding address in writing within 3 days forward you're moving and turn in the keys, and then they can apply the security deposit to unpaid rent or other damages, or they have to return it to you. Mr. Duckworth and Miss Alexander, did you agree to those terms and conditions?
Yes, sir.
And if I may, Your Honor.
Just a minute, Mr. Duckworth, do you agree as well?
Of course.
All right. Lane, could you print that email from Meg, and I'll have a signed copy on behalf of her. Mr. Bradshaw, on behalf of Quail Run, is that your agreement?
Yes, I want to make sure that we're not missing anything. That's the thing that I prepared. Meg, did you send another document?
I did, John. It's, that format that I use that walks it out in more plain English. And I format it that way so they can present it to future landlords in a way that makes sense. But because you reviewed it, we should stick with the document you used. I believe it covers the same.
Well, all right. Elaine's going to print it and bring it into us.
Yeah. I just want to make sure on mine, it's clear we're waiving any and all amounts that might be due for rent.
Which is quite a unusual condition. And so that is important.
Judge,
Yes?
my name is Trish Brown. I'm the owner of the property management company. So I'm here with Paul today. And it is very unusual that we would say, hey, no, we're just waive your money. Because we typically don't really want to do that. The owners of the properties are losing out in a big way. And it'll take probably 2 or 3 more months to get the apartment ready to move someone else back in. So we're actually losing, 7 months worth of rent for this owner. But I will agree, if they're out by the 20th, we'll waive that $3,000.
All right, very good. Thank you. Now, do you understand if you're not out by that date, you'd be subject to being evicted, where the sheriff can come and physically put you and your stuff out? Do you understand that?
Yes, sir.
All right,
We already got most of our stuff, pretty much everything packed and ready to go.
very good. All right, I'm waiting for that order to come. I'm told that sometimes the clerks can't hear me, but hopefully she got that message.
And I apologize for this, Judge. I was not in the office yesterday.
That's all right. Sometimes things happen. We are a little time crunched here, but I'm not sure. Anyway, I think hopefully Elaine is printing that. Meg, I didn't put you down as president any of these. You must have been in a long consultation when we were doing Casey's stuff.
I had a couple of back-to-back consultations, yeah.
Laura, could you check on that? Get me a copy of that conditional order of dismissal. I'm not sure what's going on.
The good news, Judge, I think Attorney Bradshaw and I got another one of your cases to settlement.
He had advised the 10-940 case is settled. He's stuck here for a while, so he's gonna experience greater metropolitan Centerville for is DeAndre Strayer and Emily Horning. We were here last week on this case. The file number is 25939 LT. It's entitled Vista Meadows versus those defendants. We determined last week that the arrearage was $2,000 plus court costs.
If I may.
Yes.
So I was just reviewing the ledger, folks, and it's my understanding that in this particular court, we're only allowed to do $50 per month in late fees. The ledger I'm looking at had the last 2 months at 100. So what I've done in the paperwork I prepared is change that to 50, and therefore the amount due through the month of June would be $1,900 in rent.
Who says I can only charge $50 a month
The judge.
I
in
do.
late fees?
I do.
Okay.
Law is
Okay.
unclear as to whether you can charge a late fee at all. And we've yet to allow $100 late fee. We went from 40 to 50. No one has been able to ever establish a clear right to even charge a late fee. Some courts allow none. I figure that the landlord is entitled to have some compensation for their efforts.
So further on that note, I have prepared the form PC 508 conditional dismissal or a judgment, whatever is preferred, but allowing the defendants until June 30th to pay the amount of $1,900 rent, $266.80 in court costs for a total of $2166.80. I've signed it, but either you folks can agree on the record to let me sign your name or just agree.
All right, well, let me see it.
Yeah.
When we were here last, I think you were working on some sort of plan to pay the rent. You had applied for some assistance. The rent appeared, this guy isn't coming in, the next guy is having trouble. They've reduced it because this court allows a $50 a month late fee rather than 100. We were at 10, then we're at 25, then went to 40, then went to 50. Do you agree that you owe that amount of rent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you have a plan to pay it?
Yes, Your Honor. We plan to pay it, but also move. We're planning to move, but I fully plan to be paying that off.
Do you have a judgment, John?
I do.
All right, we can go two different ways here. If I did just a traditional judgment, I would find that you had 10 days to move, $1,900 in rent. Boy, this guy, he's tried to join 3 times and he's not getting in here. The next defendant. And you would have until June 30th, the end of the month, to vacate or appeal or pay. Mr. Bradshaw has also prepared a consent order for conditional dismissal. It says the case is dismissed without prejudice if you pay that amount on or before June 30th. If you don't, they could reinstate the case. It's not clear to me that you're going to be able to pay that.
Of course, the conditional dismissal would be if they move or pay.
All right,
Yeah.
so the benefit of the conditional order of dismissal, it wouldn't go on your credit record. It wouldn't show as a dismissal. So let me read you the terms. The case is dismissed without prejudice, subject to the following conditions. The defendant shall vacate or pay $1,900 in rent, $266.80 in costs, for a total of $2,166.50 by June 30th, or you would be subject to being evicted. As in the last case, the case could be reopened and an immediate order of eviction would enter. So would you rather have the conditional order of dismissal that would place it not on your record? If you pay, I'm sorry, go ahead.
I'm so sorry. Yes, Your Honor, we would take that, please. We're planning. We have to be able to move into tomorrow, but we were still planning on paying our behind rent because just in general we owe that to them. But we will.
All right.
We will take the plea.
All right, Mr. Strayer, you agree as well?
Yes, Your Honor.
I just put agreed on the record. Now, let me tell you something else. When you move, you need to turn in your keys and give your forwarding address in writing within 4 days of your moving.
Okay. Yes, Your Honor. Thank you.
What town are you moving to?
White Pigeon, Your Honor.
So
We're
you'll
moving in
st-
with my mother.
All right. Well, you've got a plan and you agree on rent and you agree to move, and I wish everything worked that smoothly. All right. Thank you. I'll send you a copy of this. Stay in contact with your manager. Turn in your keys and give your forwarding address within 4 days of your moving. they can't apply your security deposit to any unpaid rent or other damage.
Thank you,
All
Your
right.
Honor. We appreciate your time.
Okay, well, that's why I'm here.
Can we grab that?
Yeah, I'll give you that one back. All right.
And thank you, sir, for that as well.
Yeah, that's a benefit to you and that is a blessing. All right, this is file number 251057LT. The parties are here. Megan Bauer is also present from legal aid. This is also appears to be lot and trailer for the whole unit. And that would be about $1,000 a month, $955. Mr. Burns, what the current arrearage?
Current arrearage, Your Honor, is rent to retain of $7,937.26. We have costs in the total of $222.70 for a total of $8,159.96.
All right, your case is similar to Mr. Jones and Ms. Swartz. A lot do. Now, somebody sent me a bunch of pictures, and I'm not sure whether they're from the defendants or from the plaintiff.
They're from us.
All right, and you show me that the water doesn't work. There's all kinds of issues with the property,
Yes.
and that you would ask for repairs and they have not completed them.
Exactly.
And I believe I have those photos as well, Your Honor.
Meg, this is why I wanted you to stick around for this one. This one has a little more to it. This is a small little park tucked away in the woods. Nobody knows it's there. It's old. The units are old, and I haven't seen much of them, frankly. So they are arguing that there should be abatement or reduction of the rent for these other issues. Let me ask this, Mr. Burns, when was rent last paid?
On my ledger, Your Honor, I have rent hasn't been paid at all this year. Let me see if I can find the ledger going back into the previous year. The only thing I have, Your Honor, is beginning at the new year, there was a balance of, they actually had a credit of $284.08. But as of the first of this year, no rent has been paid on the account.
All right. Now, there's a way to do this. If you're going to withhold your rent, you have to pay it into escrow, and nobody ever does it right. Very rarely do people ever do it right. So you're alleging that you shouldn't have to pay rent because of the deficiencies in the tenancy. Is that correct?
Yes.
Actually, Your Honor,
Did you tell your landlord you weren't going to pay the rent anymore?
we have,
So what happened back in November is the propane ran out.
November, we decided not to actually to stop paying rent in November. And then come the end of January, our propane ran out. And
All right, now I saw that in the pleadings, but who's responsible for paying for the propane?
we are, but the propane is in the
Landlord's name.
yeah, so we're not allowed to have it get filled or
Order it or anything like
or
that.
anything.
So when I reached out to Brian, I could never get a hold of him. I worked through Jason. I also called the gas company myself to have them come out. I was going to pay them then and there. Brian ended up calling again, saying that I could not go further.
We spoke on the phone yesterday. I have that conditional dismissal.
I was wondering if it's possible to speak to.
Saying that we cannot go further with the gas getting filled because I had back rent. I told him that I was glad that he finally reached out to me because ever since I moved in there in August, I had been trying to reach out to him about the problems we were having. Never once did he contact me. So it was never my intention to not pay the rent. I just withheld it until he got a hold of me. So come time for me to get the gas filled, I went 5 days without having any heat. The whole place is ran on gas and I have 3 kids. So I paid the back rent and everything and got up to date a little bit further ahead. And he still never came and fixed the sewage. He still never.
When it was out heat for 5 days, we finally get a.
All right, well, let me ask a question. Why didn't you just move out? This seems like such a deplorable place to be.
I've been looking as well, and I mean, it's very hard. I've got 3 kids that are in Constantine school. I wasn't trying to just rip them out of school. I work here in town, so it's just been very upsetting and very hard.
I don't think, when we moved in there, we never got a checklist. There was no, the furnace didn't work. There was no
All
fire.
right. There's all kinds of deficiencies here.
Oh, yeah.
So they're asking you to pay the rent or move. And you don't wish to pay the rent and you don't wish to move. So we've got to figure something out. You're living in this place with improper sewage and you've had no heat and there are issues regarding that. I'm gonna order that you pay the rent to me.
Okay.
I'm gonna do an escrow order. We're gonna set this for a hearing on a day where we have more time than next week. There's more to this case than a regular tenancy case. Megan Bauer is here from Legal Aid, and they are the specialist in landlord tenant law, particularly in representing defendants. You may have some defenses to their request to have you pay the rent. I keep hearing about Brian and Jason. I'm not sure who they are. They must be the owners of this property, and there are these kinds of issues. Does your sewage work now?
It keeps backing up, but they keep, Jason.
Jason is
Yeah,
the maintenance
is the
man.
maintenance man. He keeps opening up the sewer and dumping it on the ground. It's pretty nasty underneath our trailer and in the yard.
This is also a health department issue.
Yeah. So
Exactly.
I went to the health department and I had said something. She told me that if it didn't get resolved to come in again. I never went back because Jason did tear up the yard and put a new pipe in it and everything. But I mean, I still have to call down every other 2 weeks to drain it.
This had happened with a park a number of years ago. Water was filthy. Water from. All right, well, Mr. Ware, Mr. Ware.
I'm sorry,
please
yes.
be quiet. It's like you're sitting in the courtroom and you can't have a private discussion with someone else. We're in the middle of a court proceeding. I asked you to sit.
I didn't know you could hear me.
Yes, so please be quiet.
Well, I have a doctor's call here.
All right, well, I'm gonna mute your microphone, but then you can't turn it back on. I wanted you to hear what's going on here.
No, I'm listening very closely.
Okay, well, just be quiet. I called the health department myself. This was 15 years ago. Sewage was discharged onto the ground. They put in a drain field that was not even on their property. And the health department was reluctant to simply condemn it and make everybody homeless. But I fear there are some significant sanitation issues out here. So there may be more to this. So, Ms. Bauer, well, one of the problems, Mr. Burns, is July is coming.
Yes, Your Honor.
And we've got vacation and conferences and 4th of July and trying to figure out a place to put.
Because of the nature of the case, Your Honor, if the court is inclined to adjourn it until after the holiday, I don't think we would object. And I think that may give us some more time to address some of these issues. And if I may, just in response, I know there are ongoing issues, but based on the documents, it looks like my client has been cooperative at the least in addressing these issues. Specifically the propane, it looks like the order was placed for the propane and it was delivered within a day or two. And there have been communications and there have been resolutions to some of these issues, though I know some of them are ongoing. But I have no problem taking an adjournment till after the holiday so we can work out what we need to between my client, myself, and the defendants.
Your Honor, may I say something about the propane issue?
Yes.
There was 5 days with no answer from Brian, and then he calls Amanda, and the first thing he says, "Are you ready to pay me my money?" 5 days we went without heat and no answer from him. And then he threatens to shut off our lights because we didn't pay him back rent.
All right. My suggestion again is that you move.
Yeah.
But we're gonna fight about this. You're gonna pay the rent to me, which is money you could better use to find first month's rent and to move somewhere else. But you're going to pay escrow to the court. and the court's gonna hold on to it. So let's assume there are all these deficiencies. That doesn't necessarily mean that your rent is zero. There may be a reduction or called abatement of the rent because of these other issues. But right now you're paying no rent. And so each month we're just gonna be farther in the hole. And I'm trying to figure out where to put this. And I think we're gonna have the same problem in the next case, Perk and Ellis, although they're not here.
I am.
Yes.
I mean, I could have showed up in the courthouse. That would have been better for me.
All right, well, you're fine. You're fine. Someone is there as Riverside Estates. I can't see them or hear them. I'm not sure who's there.
Your Honor, I believe that is representative from the community, Mr. Newsom.
All right, I'm not sure what to do with this. Either just set it for 1 week and then figure out what we're gonna do, which is what I think I will do. I will continue this to June 27th, 2025 at 10:40. Now, we're gonna talk about this further next week. And at that point, I can set the matter for a trial. And I'm gonna order that you pay escrow to me, which would be $995 for June and $995 for July. If you don't pay the escrow, they win. I'm gonna order what they ask for. And then you have to pay that amount or move. And my thought is that you could use that money better somewhere else. You're fighting to keep this tenancy that you don't really want. Then let's say I cut the rent in half. You're still gonna owe $5,000, even if I cut it by 50%, which you can't pay. And then you would have 10 days to move after that. So there are a lot going on here. Megan Bauer is here from Legal Aid, and you could benefit from a consultation with a lawyer that does this sort of thing. So for now, I'm going to continue this matter till next Friday, June 27th at 10:40. Mr. Burns is going to be here anyway on the other case.
And Your Honor, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Is the court entering an escrow order now, or is that going to be entered at the next hearing?
I expect to enter it at the next hearing unless we work something else out. We'll still be in the month of June.
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Burns, have you ever been there?
I have not, Your Honor. I am familiar with manufactured housing, though, having worked in communities myself, and we do a lot of representation for communities. So I am familiar with sewage issues as they arise, and I am familiar with what causes them and the responsibilities therein outside of my job as a lawyer for the community.
Well, you seem, I've never dealt with you before. Your firm has a fine reputation in doing landlord tenant work. But I would suggest you look at it. It's not an order, but I think it might be enlightening to actually see what this place looks like. At any rate, we'll continue it for a week, and I'm going to put the parties in a breakout room with Meg Bauer, and they can discuss this. You heard what my opinion is, but I'm only the judge, and my opinion doesn't carry any weight. My court order does. And at some point, they're gonna get what they're asking for. You're gonna have to pay some money or move. So when you see this, click the button that says join, and you'll be in a private space with Attorney Bauer.